All right, the recording is done and we have started recording. So here we go. Yeah, then so we'll just set the scene up. And I'll just run through some of the basics here for those of you who are new. The approach that the market structure takes is I'll run through a couple of points so that you guys know how our approach is. I think the way to frame price and the chart is really important to help you make decision. Without doing that, it's sometimes hard to understand, whether it's a good time to buy or sell. So that's how we're going to do it. Now we're using the market structure. And when I speak about the market structure, it's basically how the price developed from slingshot, moonshot 1, 2, and 3. And that's what the market structure is. Most of the coins goes through that structure, especially coins that are mature. It goes through that. If you have coins that are fairly new, unfortunately, we won't be able to help you forecast too much on new coins. Now, sometimes you see me comparing current structure against previous structures, like the one now versus the one before. And you might be wondering, how can you do that? How can you compare the previous one and the current one? Well, that's because history repeats or rhymes. And because of that, you see that the structures do repeat themselves. Not only we do that, we also compare against other coin structures. For example, OMG, ETN, ZIL, XRP, they all have similar structures. So we do that because most of the coins, for example, Moonshot 1 structures, Moonshot 2 structures, they are fairly similar. So we do compare between coins as well as between histories or cycles. Other things, so compare fractals. The other thing we will do as well is we compare fractals or patterns.
Why are you working for a master when you?
So now that is not as important as structures. Fractals are just patterns, right? The emerging patterns. Patterns are not as important as structures, but we still do compare patterns so that you can see how it unfolds. Other question would be when this will all end. So remember that my projection on the bull run, the end of bull run hasn't changed. It is still the end of 2021. So December 2021, that is. The other thing that is common, in case you're wondering, is we always exit on moonshots, regardless whether it's moonshot 1, 2, and 3. We don't use any technical indicators, the traditional ones like moving average, RSI, Phipps, Elliott waves. Now we don't use those just because that we don't find it too interesting. And we just use, like I say, structures and patterns, as simple as that. Okay, so if you have any questions about this, that's cool. We can go through. If not, we'll dive straight into. But we'll look at Bitcoin first, right? Because that's how everything starts. We can look at that and look at how it is working on. So here's one example when I say you can actually compare for example, right, the first halving that goes back into 2011, 2012, right? That's the first halving, right? And you can use, and for example, you can compare against the second halving example, right? And you might be wondering how would the pattern fare. Here's one way to frame out. I find it useful on framing the price this way for Bitcoin, which is breaking up into 1/3, right? So you break out 1/3, and you can almost spot some support and resistance here. You know, there's some major support and resistance around here. There is support and resistance around here. So if you were to break it up into 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3, I find it useful just because there are two very interesting signatures that Bitcoin does. And what happened to Bitcoin is when it comes from the bottom and comes up, it does go back down to test the support over here. And when it finally went up to break the resistance, it came back down and crossed the resistance again. So I find this signature to be quite useful because it did repeat again in the second halving, right? So this would be halving number 2, right? So this is the second halving. And this would be, you know, from 2014 to, you know, 2016 cycle here. So you can see it's the same. If you break it up into what you call 1/3, let's try. So we call, by the way, we call this time high as well, right? So that would be the all-time high for that cycle. And it'll be the all-time high for this cycle over here. So if you again break it up into 1/3, you know, 1/3 here and 1/3 there, you'll find again there is a resistance level, there's support and resistance level, and again when the price breaks up from the bottom, comes up, it always goes back down to test the support, and again when it breaks that resistance, comes back down again, which is exactly what happened in halving number 1. Do you guys see how you know this structure sort of repeats itself? It's quite amazing, right? So if you were to frame it this way, you'll find it quite amazing that it does repeat itself. So after this cycle here, sorry, after this fractal, it goes up into what we call moonshot 1, and then it starts pushing up into its bull run, right? So that's where we are going. So let's have a look against where we are right now, right? So this will be second halving. Okay, so that's the second halving, and let's see. And the one on the right, let's go into the third halving, right? So is that okay? Any questions so far on the approach? Pretty straightforward. Yeah, we have spoken about this many times in the previous AMA, but I think it's always worth repeating just to get people's understanding, and especially if you're new that just joined. So let's do this for the third halving right now, right? So this will be the latest one, the latest price action. And in the latest price action, I think it was slightly different back in 2019. So if you break it up into 1/3, this time around it was different, because when it came from the low, it went all the way to the top and eventually broke back down into the support over here. Whereas in the second halving, the first and the second halving, it only came back up and you know, halfway, and then go back down to test the support. So that's one big difference. But the second one, in terms of testing this resistance, this is where we are currently. So we seem to be testing the second resistance at this point. So that's really where we are in testing the second resistance, and as such, people are getting excited as it might be heading up fairly soon. This is so the tricky puzzle here is to then decide where exactly Bitcoin is, right? So in that case, we will have to zoom in on this fractal here and compare against where we are now. Does it make sense, guys, so far in terms of what we are doing? Yeah. Let me know if there's any comments. There will be moonshots. One. Okay, so this is this structure here is moonshot 1 for 2016, and this is where we are. I'll just take this away. Yeah. Okay, let's frame it up. Okay, so let's zoom in over here on the structure here. So if we were to try to, it would look something like that. All right, so the hard part is to decide where exactly Bitcoin is. And in terms of a pattern, my take is this zigzag is done, it's completed. So I think it's done. Now, some of the analysts out there might argue, no, it's not done. We think that there's one more. No, I'm not in that position to think that it's coming back down. I think the correction, the zigzag has already been completed, and as such, yeah, somewhere around here, right, we could be either you know, in this pattern here, which is what we think, or if you are a little bit more optimistic, you might think it is potentially somewhere up there, right? And it is hard to tell. It's not easy to tell over here, but we know that it's somewhere around there. But if you were to take this as your position, that's what we think so. That means there is another correction coming up. So this is where I think we are, right? So if we were to zoom in on the 4-hourly chart, this is where we think we are. Okay, just delete that and just zoom in over here. So yeah, so that's where we are. So I do think that we have a correction back into this level, right? So we have a correction potentially coming back down to this level for Bitcoin to hold at 11,000. I just, you know, it just looks like there's a lot of support down there. For it to crash down into 9,000 territory would require a lot of selling. And I'm not sure who would be selling at this point at the price of 11,000. Any sellers here on Bitcoin? I hope not. Yeah, because I don't think it's going to go down too much. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you hear comments out there, people are wondering, like, who are selling Bitcoins out there? It's just ridiculous. People will be buying up if you're selling all the way down to 9,000, especially the institutions. So that's where we are. We are heading up, I think, from here. And the next thing we are looking at is the moonshot 1. Okay, so moonshot 1 is being projected to be 20 around 9,000. 20,000. Yes, that will be the next time. Let's just try to frame this up. Okay. Yeah, so there you go. It would look something like this. So we are going up to what they call the all-time high, which is around 19,000 to do its moonshot 1. So we would say, what is it? Around December might my pick is still 15th of December to be the time to complete Moonshot 1 for Bitcoin. And yeah, so far it has been good, because if you compare where we are now, potentially if somewhere around here, going up to all-time high, based on the last cycle, it's about 107 days, so it's about 3 months away. And if you believe that we are here, then it's about 82 days away, which is less than 3 months. So anywhere around here, somewhere between 2.5 to 3 months would be a good timing, right, to complete Moonshot 1 on the top there. So that's where the bigger picture for Bitcoin is. And with that, we can go into the discussion on other coins. Okay. All right. Any questions on the Bitcoin projection so far? Is it clear? Just checking in with the chats. Okay. So far, so good. Okay, we can speak about Ethereum later on for sure. All right, so Moonshot 1 is where we are heading. So it's right there around all-time high. So remember, if you are holding Bitcoin, in fact, if you are holding any of the coins, by the time Moonshot 1 is done, you would want to make sure you exit, right? So in every moonshot, you would want to exit, right? Why? Well, it's because in every moonshot, here is moonshot 1 for the Bitcoin, halving number 2. So let's identify, for example, here's the moonshot 1, right? And if you draw the same type of a box, here is, the moonshot 2, right? That will be the same box over here. And if you draw the third box, it'll be the moonshot 3. Right? That's the moonshot 3. Right. So here's a learning for all of us. Should we really exit on moonshot? The answer is yes. Right. Here's what happened on moonshot 1. You correct itself by, say, 35% for Bitcoin, right? That's the moonshot 1 over here. For moonshot 2, where's moonshot 2? Okay, it's around there, but let's just take that, right? So there's a correction here, which is pretty big. We don't know sometimes where it's correcting, but anyway, there is a correction significantly, and once it's clear, you can always get back in. And I want you to note that as you go into the higher moonshots, the amount of correction is much bigger, right? So you start with 35% for Bitcoin, then it became 40%. Now, we don't know whether we can catch the top or not. Well, we have ways to do it. But the last one, moonshot 3, if you miss it, guess what? Bitcoin will correct itself by over 80%. Right, so if you want to zoom out, this is how it will look like, right? So this is how much it will correct itself. So basically what I'm saying is moonshot 1 will correct pretty big, 31% for Bitcoin. Moonshot 2 is 40%. The last moonshot, if you get caught, which some of you did last cycle, will correct itself back by 84%. So each moonshot you would want to get out and potentially buy back in at a lower price. So that's a key learning. So do not make that mistake, and please exit at the moonshot. Okay. All right. Is there a recent moonshot 1 safe exit for BTC? Yes. One easy way to do it is just sell at all-time high. That would be one way. Yeah, so the other way to look at is to use this, right? To use this uh, as the box. So that's one way to do it. And then goes up around here, right? So this would be, let's try to estimate, right? So this would be the safe exit. When we say safe exit, it means it's safe to exit at that price around here. My suspect, 19,000 around there, close to 20K might be a better exit because normally price would go up a little bit more, right? So that would be, what is the safe exit? 17,800, right? About 18,000 would be safe exit. So somewhere around here you go up and then you push up. Now I don't know whether it's going to touch 20K. It may not, and but you probably come back down, right? Now, how much Bitcoin is going to come back down? At least say 35%. So if we were to take, let's say 19,000, we would say, ooh, about 30%. That's a lot, isn't it, for it to come back down? So most likely it might go up even further. But let's just say it might come back down. Let's just say if it crashes up into the 20K, yeah, it might come back down into 20%. So somewhere around 20% to 30% would be a good estimate. Now I know that in the last cycle, it came back down by 30%. But I do think as each cycles progress, as each halving improves, the amount of correction is reduced, right? So think about it. So this time, I'm not sure if Bitcoin will correct by 30%. It may, but don't necessarily bet on it. Partly because yeah, this cycle is much more mature, right? How do I know? I mean, how do we know? You can actually measure this across the previous cycle. Take for example, right? I think in the previous cycle, right, Bitcoin corrects itself by over 85%, right? So you can see 85%. And this cycle, the correction is slightly lower. It's only up to 83%. So it does look like each cycle, the amount of correction seems to be reduced. So just watch out. It might not necessarily go down into 35%, but somewhere around 30% would be good. So yeah, that's something to watch out. Is that clear? Hopefully
Hey, Jay.
to an idea. Yeah.
It's John. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but for those who have their coins allocated, a question came up on the board today about ETFs or trading Bitcoin. And I know that Grayscale, and you can look it up, has a Bitcoin ETF and also has Ethereum. And I heard they also have a Chainlink one. So if you want to, if you've got a self-directed IRA or you just want to trade it with outside of your coins, you can go and do that. The symbol is BCHG for Bitcoin and ETHE for Ethereum. Those are the two Grayscale coins. I bought some today just because I got my coin allocations and I want to put some of it in my 401k.
Hey, that sounds
Sorry.
great. If you can type it in the chat so that people can and be clear about the ticker symbol, that would be great. Appreciate it, John. I think some of us will find this really useful. I agree. That's fantastic information. Thank you very much. Yeah, if you find there's any information that the community can benefit from it, well, that's what the purpose of this call is about. So self-directed 401k. There you go. Yeah. Thank you. Anything else on this? All right, let's go into other coins then. Let's see. Okay, there is quite a few discussion around the presidential election, as well as let's see, AAVE. AAVE is a big discussion here. I think that a lot of people will want to discuss about. Yeah. So thoughts around shorting BTC for moonshot. Yeah, if you have some form of a derivatives that you can do that, that'll be great. If you want to do it. Well, especially on moonshot 3, but that's next year. Yeah, if you want to short Bitcoin, at the end of moonshot 3 using some derivatives, and it's not uncommon these days to be able to find Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. You are able to do that. So for example, I have the CFDs that you can short, BTC or XRP. So for example, here's Bitcoin, CFDs. If you don't know what CFDs instrument is, it's called contracts for futures, contracts for difference. So there's a lot of types of instruments out there. You can short BTC, XRP, Ethereum, for example. These are the 3 common ones, and even Litecoin. I think some exchange to carry those. The nice thing about shorting Bitcoin is I do think you can earn. I'm not sure you can earn some profit based on the buying of US dollar. We call it the carry trade. But anyway, you can do that if you are able to find some of these derivatives for sure. Okay, let's see what else. All right, so let's get into the bigger picture. Some of you asking if there is a concern on the presidential election, if the market drops. Yeah, so I do not think that the stock market is entirely correlated to the crypto market. The crypto market has its own cycle, as you would see. So I don't think there is any major what you call influence over here. But probably at the end of the year, right, towards December, where we can see the moonshot 1 correction starts coming in over here. So if, for example, if it goes up to 19,000, it might come back down into this territory, 13,000, and that could happen, and I'm not ruling that out for sure. As I said, that when it goes up to moonshot 1, it will come back down, right? So that might coincide with some of the stock market or traditional market correction, and we'll see. But so far, I'm not. I'm looking forward for the market to push up the crypto market. That is, yeah. So, well, excuse me. Yeah. So we continue on. We can speak about AAVE, and that might be an important topic for quite a few of us. Let's see if we can bring in AAVE.
Jay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Having been my first crypto cycle, I'm curious. I wasn't prepared for the up and down, the elation of going up 30% and then coming down 29%. Is this going the way you anticipated it 6 months ago? A little more volatile, a little less, deeper, lower lows, higher highs? Do you have any insight?
I think this cycle it feels like more volatile. I know I wasn't around the last cycle as well. That is because Australia just, yeah, we can't get into crypto the last cycle. But let me try to again go back into the chart to provide a view around why it's more volatile. I spoke about this just now, saying that if you look at how the price of a previous cycle, it just went up and came back down on this first upside. But in this cycle, it went all the way to the top here, and then it came back down. So it definitely has elements of higher volatility to shake out a lot of investors. It definitely have that sense over here. So, for example, the March volatility that came down and alongside with the stock market crash, that was quite a big one, and I did not anticipate that as well back in March. But it does sense like this time the market is much more volatile. Now, what does it mean to investors with a volatile market? It means that potentially this cycle can be pretty big because every time you see a market trying to shake out investors, it also indirectly is saying that, hey, you know, there might be some big players behind that is shaking out investors. So that's how I'm reading this, right? I mean, can you tell me who can do this push up and then push all the way down? Do you think retail investors can do that? Think about this, pushing up from 5,000 all the way to 12,000, and then pushing it down all the way to 4,000. No retail investors can do that. Let's just be clear about that. In other words, yeah, there are some big players out there that wants to shake out in the retail investors. So
it might get worse, Jay, as crypto becomes mainstream. There'll be more, you know, Robinhood type traders in the market, going up and down, taking, you know, making the volatility much more higher. In fact, you know, right now they're shaking out mostly established investors. Wait till the common man tries to start trading crypto.
Sure. Yeah. I guess the good news is the market structure is guiding us on when to exit. If you don't know when to, you know, if you don't know where you are in the map in this journey, then it becomes very dangerous. Yeah, you might be buying on the top, you know, you get into trouble. Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so that's what this is. I think we all know that adoption is coming in. The big players are coming in. In other words, there may be more volatility coming in just to shake out retail investors. And by the way, I've spoken about this before. The reason why the market exists is to eat up all the small players, the retail players. So just bear that in mind. The market is not there to help you make money. Okay, the market is there to allow you to come in and play the game so that they'll take your money. They, as in the institutions. So do not think that the market is your friend. It is not. It is there to take away retail players' money. And if you do not know how to play this game well, yeah, it's very hard. So just bear that in mind. But if you know how to play this game, you will get rewarded really nicely, handsomely, and well, that's why most of us are here. Okay. All right, let's go into LAN and AAVE discussion. Wow, I did not see that coming. Did it went down by to 25 cents? Gee, I wish I would have put my limit buys on it on AAVE. Well, we all know what's happening to LAN and AAVE, so we will disregard all this week that happens. I'm sure there isn't any leverage traders on AAVE. If there is, they'll probably get wrecked anyway. The move from LAN to AAVE, my view is it's somewhat positive from a few things. The two things that I see, point number one, that I like about this move is about governance, right? So this is not new. Coins like Tezos, I'm sure there are other coins like Aragon, and is doing this already, which means when they have governance for investors to vote, normally these coins will not fork, right? F-O-R-K. And the reason why you see a lot of fork by Bitcoin into BCH, BSV, and other forms is because partly the governance structure is not there to allow people to vote for the direction of how the coin wants to go. So point number one, that's a good thing for AAVE. In other words, we do not think there will be some form of a fork on AAVE. And there might be competition. I think AAVE is not the only one in the town to do a similar use case. I think some of us know that AAVE is competing with, is it right, with Maker and Compound, and there are other similar types of competitors. But the good news is it won't fork. So point number one. Point number two, the 100-to-1 reducing circulation. We know that's positive for AAVE. Without doubt, it's just common sense. This idea of reducing circulation is positive. And even in the world of stock markets, you know, there's a concept called stock float. And if you guys want to check it out, it has been around for many years. And there are people who just analyze the stock float. And every time the amount of stock that is floating out there gets exchanged in hands, it will push up. Start to push up. So the less float there is, in this case, the less circulation. It's the same idea. The faster the coin's going to move up. So 100-to-1 reduction in circulation, all around there, it's a good thing for AAVE, right? So it's now $54. Well, that's good. Now, some of you know that I'm calling this to be moonshot one now, just because there's a much more bigger correction on AAVE. So if that is moonshot one, it means that the moonshot two will be way up there, which is a good thing. And by the way, I think AAVE is one of the top performers in DeFi, so it's always good to know that. All right, so I'm not sure whether this spike will affect the price of moonshot one, but even if it is, let's just say we incorporate that into into the equation. That would be the moonshot two would be somewhere around here, right? So moonshot two would be somewhere around here. Okay, right. So the original target for me was $40 because I was doing over here, I think. Is that right? $40 or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Or $20 right? Okay. $40 would be there. I think I may have estimated, but it would be around here, right? Somewhere around, 16 to $30, maybe not 40, but anywhere around here would be a good moonshot too. So I'm looking forward, from here until, let's just say from here until, just to keep the math simple, until $20. That's like 35, 40x from here in terms of AAVE's price projection. So when I say $20, you have to think about AAVE multiplied by 100, which means what, $2,000, right, in AAVE's term. So I think that's where we are going, and we will use other coins to triangulate. So that would be good. Okay. Yes, that is correct. Josh, yes, it's $2,000 in new price. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I think AAVE has a lot of progress, and I think the amount of uh, types of coins that you can put in for lending, right? Borrowing and lending. That's pretty good. So we'll see. I guess we will see. Yeah. So anyway, regardless, AAVE will do well. However high it's gonna go, we'll keep track of it. And it's probably, yeah, it's my highest position in terms of my capital allocation. Land or AAVE right now is, yeah, it holds my #1 spots in my portfolio. The migration obviously do not have deadlines, so I don't think there'll be deadlines. But of course, a lot of the exchange, I just asked even one of my local exchange, CoinSpot in Australia. They are saying they're going to migrate within the week as well. So a lot of the exchange know that if you are not migrating, most likely people are not going to buy. I mean, why would people want to buy into the old coin, right? Lend, right? If you know that everything is moving forward. So including KuCoin, I'm sure they will be migrating really soon. And the rest of the other exchanges, I'm sure they'll do it. So just hang in there. I'm sure within this month, in October, yeah, things will be migrated. My AAVE allocation is, I think, let me see, more than 20%, I think 25% maybe. 20, it's not that high, it's not 50%. That is because I hold about 6 coins. So yeah, it's about 20-25% around there. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's look at other coins. Let's see, we dealt with Len. Let's see what else are we going to deal with. We've got Dent, is that right? Yeah, I think someone mentioned ETH, Ethereum just now. So we can look at ETH. How is it doing? Okay, let's look at ETH. Yeah. Good news for those of you Ethereum fans. It'll be, what is this? 2.0 coming out soon. Is that right, guys? I don't follow news that much, so you guys can help me out on Ethereum 2.0. Anyone's got an update on Ethereum 2.0? Good? No? Just checking in. Yeah. All right. Okay, so we have Ethereum on the right, and let's see which coin do I want to compare against. All right, I'll just pick one. Let's try, yeah, let's try Ant and see. Let's see if this is gonna work. Yeah, all right. So if I try to frame it up this way, I'm not sure it's gonna help you guys. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. So if I frame it up this way, do you think you can see where Ethereum is going? I hope you guys can see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this crash is over here. But the arrow there, it's, yeah, I think that's about right around here. So the arrow over here. So let's see if we can try to frame it up so that it has a similar scale. Yes. Okay. That's how it looks like. So the classic slingshot pattern here. This is a classic slingshot. Yeah, it will you push up. This is how it's gonna look like, if you ask me. Yeah, so there is another push up. It will in general go up. So let me just try to get my drawing tools here. Most likely slightly. I'm seeing another correction, maybe. If there is one, there is another small correction. It's going to push up and then does its countdown over here. And then you push up. Gee, I ran out of space. So let's do this again. Yeah, go down, go back up, do its countdown, push up. I think there should be one more coming back down before it actually explodes up. So that's the typical pattern, right? So we call this countdown before it starts pushing up. If you were to compare against digibytes, right, so this would be very similar pattern digibyte. So if you were to go into 4-hourly, it would help us see better. Yeah, so this is the top of the slingshot. Typically, you see a zigzag down. In this case, the zigzag is not as apparent, but it's somewhere there because the moon pad one, it's down there. The moon pad one is the lowest point in the price, which is there, and you can see that yeah, it would then start to push up something similar to this pattern over here, which is what I was trying to draw just now, yeah, that pattern. So yeah, okay. Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay. Okay, is that clear? I hope it's clear. I've got somewhat a busy chart, isn't it? For Ethereum. Where is it going? For Ethereum, if you do the 3 push on, if you're using that, I mean, you're going to use. I'm going to use this one. Yeah, so just going to use that one. 1, 2. Right, and the third push, yeah. So I'm just going to use this one for an estimation towards the all-time high. Again, will Ethereum be pushing up potentially above? I think it will hit above before it actually comes back down. Ethereum tends to do that. So I'm not surprised if it's going to go up, go back up, come back down to touch this. So hitting about $2,000, I'm not surprised for Ethereum. So I guess it depends on how people react to the new Ethereum 2.0. Okay. Ethereum needs to lower gas fees plus 2.0. Yeah, I think hopefully that will happen. Yeah, and in a way, Ethereum ties into ONG as well. I think ONG is trying to help out Ethereum's scaling, so do watch out for ONG as well. Okay, so there's a question by DHT around the 6 coins I hold. Yeah, so the 6 coin I hold, there are a lot of coins that we love holding, but if you want to know the 6 coin I hold, it will be the highest one, as we spoke about just now. It will be on AAVE, right? So AAVE is the biggest. The second would be XRP. So I do hold a lot of XRP. Right now it's at a great price. What else? I do have. The third one would be either Icon or Neo. So Icon and Neo is something I hold. ZIL and Digibyte as well. So those are the 6, right? So AAVE, XRP, Icon, Neo, Digibyte, ZIL at this point. Obviously, there are a lot of other great coins, and some of our investors do hold like Data, Aragon, or Ant. It's great. KNC, RLC. There's a lot of great coins. But hey, you can't get them all, so you just got to prioritize, and that's it. Okay.
Hi, Jay. Jay, I have a question for you, please.
Go ahead, Kuram.
Yeah, for the AAVE, is this still same? You exit 50% on 2.2 or 50% for Moonshot 2, or you still hold for the Moonshot 2?
Yeah, I like the idea of getting out at halfway through. So
Okay.
we will see where the halfway point is, whether it's
Or is it still same
5x
time
from
period for
here.
3 weeks? 3 weeks, like 3 to 4 weeks?
Yeah, now that this is Moonshot 1, I don't know whether the 3 weeks will exist. I think it's closer to a month. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Jay.
from where we are. That's right.
Thanks.
So timing is really hard just because it depends on how the Bitcoin moves and all this stuff. So far it has been holding quite well. Did we say it's 50 cents? I haven't checked my AAVE because Bitcoins are not Bitcoin. Binance obviously they have taken out the coin, so I don't have a price currently. But if you guys are saying it's at 50 cents. So yeah, well, it seemed to be doing well. And I think Binance is releasing next few days, so we'll see where it is. Now, if it's if it's up there around 50 over cents, then it's good news. I do think AAVE might need another week or two before it push up. Now, remember AAVE, once it push up, it moves very quickly. Right, so if it starts moving up into the 60 cents, 70 cents territory, or in this case it'll be $60 or $70, then you have to watch out. It'll start to push up very quickly. So yeah, we will still get out halfway through, whatever that halfway is. We'll see. Okay.
Jay, I have a question about AAVE as well. Do we still think it's going to go up to about 70 or 75 cents or $75, incorrect?
There will be pattern 2.1. Yes, there'll be a pattern 2.1. So let's go back into AAVE. Yeah, so for those who doesn't know, we have the next pattern is pattern pat 2.1, which is what the next one, right? And I don't know, this should be much higher, right? So pattern 2.2. So let me just try to do this. So let me try to estimate and help us compare where it would be. Okay, so I think I have this box here just now, and assuming that that's the height of the box, right? So we would be going somewhere around there. Okay, so pad 2.1 will be here, and then 2.2 will be there, and then the moonshot, right? So moonshot 2 would be up there, right? Does it make sense? So it should be something like that. Right, so that's why I say about $2.50 or $25 would be an interesting place to see. But what I will be keen also eventually is to try to get out at 2.2. Let's see if we can try to help you. Oh yeah, we've got Ethereum on the right. So let's give us a view on 2016 Ethereum. So let me help us compare Ethereum, right? So for example, Ethereum's 2016, this is the moonshot one, right? So that's the moonshot one for Ethereum. Let's just zoom in over here. Here's the moonshot one. Okay. So, yeah. So if I were to put something like this to scale, right? And yeah, that would be the low. You guys see this? This is ground zero, right? That's ground zero. In other words, the lowest point before everything comes out for Ethereum. This 2016, guys. And for AAVE, the ground zero would be there, right? So if you were to line them up, if you say, yeah, let's line these guys up, okay, then that would be your ground zero. So maybe we pull this up a little bit. Let's see. So that's close enough for lining up, right? And that would be the moonshot one, right? So we line up the moonshot one. Okay, that's right there. Okay, and okay, so we need to push it up higher, just a little bit maybe. All right, and that will be a moonshot one position. Okay, that's close enough, right, for moonshot one. So you can see we are lining up moonshot one, right, and moonshot two for Ethereum is right there. This is 2016, guys. This moonshot two Ethereum 2016, the last cycle. All right, that's right up there. So let me just try to put this in perspective. So if that's the case, do you agree that yeah, it can go up to $50? Do you agree? If the scale is close enough, right? So where is Ethereum's, here's pattern, right? Here's pattern 2.1, all right, for Ethereum's previous cycle, right? So that's how it looks like. Here is pattern 2.2 for the cycle, and there you go, 2016 moonshot 2 at the top, which eventually corrected itself by 60%. Make sure you get out at moonshot 2, right? So if I'm right, if this whole analysis is correct, right? So this, if I were to put the size of the box there and forget about a week, you're talking about $40 here, right? Pattern 2.1 is somewhere around there. Pattern 2.2 is somewhere around there. That's a beautiful picture. What do you say, Muhammad?
Yeah, no, definitely
So
beautiful.
yeah, now here's the question. I am keen to exit over here, right? That's your question. Are we trying to exit somewhere halfway point? My halfway point is somewhere around 2.2. Now, I think it's going to take a little bit more time. Maybe 2.1, we might get out at a little bit at 2.5, $2.50 or $25. We'll see, right? Mind you that the correction for 2.1 is not that interesting, right? 2.2 is much more interesting, right? Here's 2.2. 2.2 we know can go up to 50%, like what Chainlink has gone through, more than 50%. AAVE 2.2, we'll see, right? At least a 30%, hopefully we'll see 30, 40%. So we'll try to exit if we can and buy back at cheaper price. Okay.
Okay. I was also wanted to ask about the correction that we're expecting in the next few days. The 20% as around 70 or 75 cents.
For AAVE, the correction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have, unfortunately, I don't have the price pattern here because everything is locked down.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I can't get you the price in Binance because, you know, they've clearly locked down that trading. Trading view doesn't, it's just very noisy. So Yeah, I can't tell you, right? I think there will be okay. So let's try to back up. Let me try to give you the answer here. Sorry, guys, if it's taking a longer time with AAVE, but this is quite important discussion, so we'll try to address it. So here is the latest fractal for AAVE. Yeah, this week is just not helping, isn't it? Yeah, we'll just ignore it at this point. Okay. Now I am comparing against one of my latest method is to compare against its full cycle. Okay, so if I were to line up the latest fractal here, which is the moonshot one, this is the moonshot one, right? So just to speed things up, yeah. So if I were to zoom in around here, you can see there is some correction here, right? So it means there's some correction there, which we have seen. So it means it would have gone up. Okay, so it's gone up to do its first major structure. So this structure here, unfortunately, it did not play out too well because of obviously the migration. But that structure there, I'm quite happy to call this structure here, while it doesn't look good or anything, but it's that structure over here. Okay, so now that it has gone up to, did someone say 50 cents or something like that? It's going up to.
Yeah, AAVE is about $53, and Lend,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Lend is
Okay.
actually on sale on KuCoin. It's 45 cents right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Might want to buy some at 45 cents, isn't it?
Yeah,
KuCoin would
but
be.
by the way, the withdrawals are still suspended for Lend on their exchange. That's probably
Yeah.
why. But
That's right. That's right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So regardless, what Lend I believe is doing is on the second structure here. This is the second one, right? So it will go up now again because of the migration. Let's see, it could be going up much higher around here. It could be going up much higher, which is what I cannot estimate how high it's gonna go, like this triangle thing here, or correction. Yeah, how high is it going? I'm not sure how high it's gonna go, but definitely there'll be a major correction coming back down, I think. Now, once that is done, okay, so look at this, right? This is a strong push up. So that's the one that's going to rocket ship AAVE. So yeah, after this correction, it should be interesting on how it's going to push up. That's what we are looking at.
Okay, thanks, Ray.
All right, so it's really messy. All this migration is not helping out for us in the world of charting. So, but if you see a major correction, Muhammad, that's all I'll say. If you see the next major correction, if you have some spare cash, buy in. That's it. That's the last time to buy, I think, because that would be the second pattern here. That's after that's going to push up. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Thanks.
Okay, so it's okay for us to buy Lend. If you, I don't know which exchange you're not getting to buy Lend now. KuCoin, like what Muhammad has said, it's suspended trading for AAVE, and Binance is suspended.
No, sorry, KuCoin is not. The trading is still active, but the withdrawals are suspended still. Only for Lend. Well, Lend is one of many, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yes, happy hunting on where to find AAVE now. Yeah, maybe in the black market. Okay. All right. Let's see. Moving on. Look at other coins. Yeah. We spoke about Ethereum. Spoke about Len. Let's see, Dent, Prab. Is that a solid coin for Dent? It looks pretty weak so far on my side. Yeah, it looks pretty weak. So still down there. Yeah, yeah, if I were to frame it up for you, right? So look at this. Here's a right. That's your mountaintop right there. That's probably your mountaintop, right? Yeah, it's far away from the mountaintop. Perhaps it's like no point holding these coins here. Yeah, just move out. Litecoin, LTC, Litecoin. Let's look at Litecoin. Litecoin, yeah, I haven't done Litecoin for a while. Litecoin USD. Yeah, so let's look at the history of Litecoin. Litecoin clearly has a history that we can leverage on. Can you guys spot where potentially Litecoin is? Let me try to frame it up for you. What do you think about Litecoin? Do you guys see something there about Litecoin? What do you think? All right.
Looks like it's going to push up, Jay.
Oh, yeah, it looks like it's going to push up. So if you say,
Yes, screenshot, yeah.
yeah, if you say, okay, if I put a flag there, okay, I put let's put some flags there. Yeah, this might be a flag, right? And then you might say, this thing looks like that one. Would it be fair to say? Okay, by the way, I know this quite well. Yeah. And this is pushing up. You might say, oh, JJ, this thing is pushing up. It looks like it's right there. Okay. Maybe right there. That could be it. It's still got a little bit of space to work on it, right? Still got a little bit of space right here. Still got some of this to work through. So just hang in there. If you're holding Litecoin, yeah, you'll still take some time. So, but it will eventually push out as well. And this is what it's going to do. So if we were to frame this up this way, yeah, that's how it's gonna looks like, right?
Hey Jay, while you're adjusting that, I posted the grayscale offerings for coin ETFs on the board, but just so you know, they do have a Litecoin ETF that you could trade in your private, in your personal. So, you know, maybe we pay attention to this fractal when it gets to the moonshot and we put a couple of bucks on it or trade it into your IRA or 401k. Might be a nice way to write it. Might be a nice way to write it without having to, at the expense of one of your other coins.
Hey, there you go. You know, that's a great idea. I'll definitely share it with the community. Thanks for sharing it. I'll hunt down your ticker and make sure that people get your message.
Yeah, it's I just listed all the tickers on the chat.
On the
so
chat,
you can go there and get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry
The
to bother
chat,
you.
that's okay. The chat history is recorded, so I will hunt it down. It's just an easy search.
Beautiful.
Okay, so is it clear on Litecoin where we are? I mean, it's not far away, right? Litecoin is not far away from this explosion up. But then every coin is about to explode up, right? I mean, which coin is not going to explode up? So that would be the message. So yeah, that's what it is.
10x, yeah?
Hey, it's going to 10x, you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You easily I don't know. I have to scale this up properly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gonna 10x, right? For 490. Yeah, it's gonna 10x for Litecoin. Yeah. So, do you guys like this picture? It looks pretty good. Well, anyway, at least that's my view. Moving on. Let's see, Ethereum we have done, then we have done, oh, someone's picked out Neo. Hey, Bin, you like Neo? Hey, I do like Neo as well. Let's look at Neo. And then we have other coins. Oh, what is this? Zinfin, yeah. Let's look at Neo. Someone was asking about Neo. Okay, so Neo, it's one of my big holdings as well. So here is the latest Neo fractal price. That's right there. And you can compare against Neo in the past, which is something you can do going back into say 2016, 2017, 2017, somewhere around April, maybe. Yeah, early April, that will do. Yeah, so there you go. Here is the previous cycle for Neo on the right against the latest cycle on the left. Okay. Well, one of the ways to start off based on the reference again would be ground zero, right? So ground zero, it's let's see. Okay, it's right there. It's ground zero, where we think everything goes up from there, right? So if we were to compare this fractal over here, all right, let's zoom in on ground zero. Okay, so let's zoom in on ground zero. Okay, so that's that. Yeah, so this is where we are. Right. Yeah, so this major structure here, this is the biggest structure so far since ground zero, which I'm tying to the slingshot right now. Yeah, and if you want to just zoom in around here, we could actually zoom in to, let's just say, yeah, the four hourly around there. Yeah, so if you were to try to zoom in, yeah, around here, this would be how it's looking like right now. It looks slightly different, but it's okay. It's still within, yeah, so it's still within my fractal estimation. One of the characteristics that I look at is I call this, you see a double top there, and you see a double top there. So we call this, I give it a name called double because there's a double top there, and there's two double top, right? That that fractal was making over here, and since then it came back down, right? There's also a signature which I like in that I observe is the spike. Okay, let me just delete some of this. So that's the double, and then there's a spike. There's a spike up, and then it goes all the way down. So I look at this as the spike that eventually brought all the way down. So it's doing this structure over here, right? Which is at since the low, it came back up, and I don't know whether it's going to push back down. I really doubt so. So if you were to zoom in on this low, right? If you were to zoom in over there, right? Oops, sorry. So this is what we are seeing currently, right? So if it's going back down, yeah. So it's pushing up and then coming up here. Might be doing this one here, not exactly sure. Or is it up there? Well, I don't think it's up there, but what I'm seeing is I think this little fractal here might be this one. So that is why I don't think Neo is actually coming back down to here at this point. But we'll see. I guess the good news is once after this is done on this pattern, Neo has a burst rate that is fairly good. So we call that 1.1 and 1.2. Well, like I say, every coin is going up. So Bitcoin seem to be, sorry, Bitcoin seem, Neo seem to be over here, somewhere in that structure. That's where we are, I think. If we were to put it to scale, that's probably how it looks like, right, at this point. So for it to go up into quite high, right? So it's $100 over dollars, whatever that high it goes. We'll see. This pattern 1.2, right? Where's moonshot 1? Let's see if we can get to moonshot 1. Yeah, moonshot 1 is right up there. There's moonshot 1. Here's moonshot 1, guys. Okay, on the top there. If this is where it is, how it's going to look like. Yeah, it's probably going to something like this. Yeah, so if that's the high over here, again, just comparing against some of the positions here. Yeah, so yeah, it's probably going to be like that. It's probably going to go up into, $200, something like that, right? $200. If you were to zoom out, where's $200 on the top? Well, let's see. $200 on the top, it's right around all-time high. Okay, so it's right around all-time high. So yeah, so basically that's what it is in terms of the moonshot 1. I can't scale these too well, but anyway, that's where it's going. 10x would be easy for Neo. On top of it, you get gas. So Neo is a nice trade. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So Zinfin, yeah, that's also a good coin. We definitely recommend on Zinfin, XTC. Yeah. So Zinfin is still hanging in there. It might come back down a little bit more, potentially, but it's really small. It might come back down to, let's just see, XTC. Right. Okay. So Zinfin, we have a target of 2.5 cents. Still, it hasn't changed. Let's zoom on the latest fractal here. Yeah. So one way to, how do I know that this thing is coming down, you might ask. Okay, so one thing I was looking at recently is, again, comparing fractals, right? I mean, fractals, I'm taking the biggest fractal here, for example, and just show it to you and compare these two, right? So it is the fractal that is working on, right? That's the, I'm taking the latest fractal here against where we are. I think we are probably, that might be too much, isn't it? Yeah, so yeah, if you compare against the two, so this little correction to the top side, yeah, I think that's the correction to the top side here, right? And since then it starts going back down, and I don't know how far it's going down at this point, but it's definitely going back down around there, right? It's coming back down around here. So there's limited downside, but there's maybe some more downside for Zinfin. And but once that is done, well, guess where it's going? Well, let's have a look. Bang, bang, bang. Right, it starts to go up, and using, it starts to go up using this structure. So like I say, it's going to go up to 2.5 cents. Okay, that would be it. So that will be for Zinfin, XDC, XDCE. So, they have the same value. Should be good. Okay, let's move on. Let's see what else. Spoke about DigiBuy, ICX, and ICX, we haven't spoke about it. Yeah, we spoke about NEO. Let me just go to the website to get some of the questions and see if we can get some questions from YouTube. YouTube, Digibyte, ETN. So let's cover some of these. Did we speak about Digibyte so far? Not yet. All right, let's get Digibyte in then. Okay, so Digibyte's latest price is on the left, and on the right is the history 2017 market structure. This is the slingshot on the left side. So obviously we are comparing against slingshot. Those of you who are part of the members, you would know it hasn't changed much, right? It hasn't quite changed much. So there you go. It's basically something like this currently. This is the slingshot on the right, 2017 slingshot, right? You can see the zigzag coming down. It's classic zigzag. You see it over here currently. It pushed up, came back down, and now doing this, right? So, so we can zoom in over here if you really want, and just try to analyze this correction here. Yeah. So this whole correction is it's here. Right? So that's the correction. There's some interesting signature that I saw. This huge spike up and down for me was this one. Obviously, the last DigiByte structure was a little bit more squishy because I don't know. That's just how it was. Yeah. So it's probably looking like this if you were to try to compare the two. Right. Looks like this. And that's the high there. Yeah, then it sort of spikes up and then goes back to form a local low. So you can see the spike up here. It did not go all the way up, but that's a strong spike up and goes all the way down. And then it forms a double bottom. Looks like it, right? There's a double bottom that was formed recently. It does looks like there's a double bottom that forms even in the past, right? And then that's where it's leading to where we are now. So we are probably somewhere around here. Not exactly sure which one specifically. Yeah, but I don't think there's another low coming down. So that's it. It's very similar to Litecoin in a way, isn't it? I mean, it's just going to slowly work on some of this structure. Then eventually it has a bias to the upside. And the next thing you know, there is a burst up, and there you go. The burst up will come. So that's where we are. There's no changes in DigiByte's structure. Currently, it's still following the past, really. You'll be surprised that, I was talking about this correction like since, I don't know, June. Yeah. During the slingshot, I was saying that, hey, this correction will become, there will be a correction here. I guess my only mistake is I did not anticipate a bigger correction because it looks pretty flat to me in the last cycle, right? If you look at this looks pretty flat to me. So as such, I was thinking, yeah, it should be all right. But I guess in this cycle, It came back down much more. It's closer to, like 40% from the top there. Whereas in the previous cycle, it came back down only like 15%. So there's more volatility for sure in this cycle. So yeah, it should be interesting. More volatility, well, guess what? It's gonna push up even more, I think. There you go. Any question on Digibyte? Yeah, it's going up. It's going up to Moonshot 1, which is up there, right? So what's Moonshot 1? Did we say, what, 25 cents? I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
25
25.
cents.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can see if I were to scale this, well, it does goes up to there, right? Even comparing against previous 2017, the Moonshot 1 is there, and 25 cents is definitely on the table without doubt. Yeah. So there you go. Digibyte, no surprises. Okay, that's for Digibyte, and I think there's one more on ETN. ETN, just a quick one. It's not as active, ETN, but if you want to compare ETN structure, let's see. We can go to daily. So yeah, so ETN will probably go up to about 3 cents, I think, on the next push up. If you want to compare against the structure, you might want to try against OMG, right? So if you look at OMG, so I was really busy, isn't it, on OMG? Let's just go down to 4 hourly. Yeah, so let me just try to frame it up for you. Okay, so yeah, daily might be fine. Let's just zoom in over here. Right, so here's your ETN on the left. Let's frame up against OMG on the right. There you go, ground zero. Okay. Yeah, so you can see the structure here. If I delete it away, you guys can try to study this. That, it's got a strong push up and then the next push up. So you can see it's over here doing this pattern. I think pretty much the low is in, so hence I call it the moon pad one, which is over there. You can see it's coming up to do this pattern over here, which might be around there. It should be around here, or the top side, whichever you prefer, but it's around there. But once it catches fire on the top, so you might be interested if it starts pushing up into, maybe the 0.008 cents, 0.008, yeah, 0.8 cents. If it starts going up there, you might be interested to get in some because most likely it will push up, starts pushing up, bang. Now watch out that electronium should be fairly volatile, and I would expect ETN to have a major correction as well. So it might go up into around, let's see, what did I say, 3.6 cents, 4 cents. Yeah, it might go up to 4 cents, but expect a major correction to come back down, just like what OMG did. So don't try to hold on to your ETN. If it goes up big time, the correction will be significant. So that's for ETN. Okay.
Jay, while you're there, can you do OMG?
Yeah, OMG, let's see, where's OMG currently? Okay, so let's try to zoom out on OMG. Yeah, so OMG, it has a burst structure, and let's do OMG against OMG. Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, OMG against OMG. So one way to look at this, I think it's going to burst up into here, right? So that's what it's going to work on, right? So well, this might be even higher, right? So it might be slightly higher, but just to give you a sense around how the burst is going to be. But let's just zoom in over here, this structure over here, the latest fractal. Okay. So here's the latest correction fractal that OMG is doing. And what I'm doing basically is comparing it against its own biggest fractal, right? So this would be 2018 all the way down. And I think that's pretty good in terms of the pattern. So I'll just try to highlight a few things. So here's one pattern here. You can see a double top there, right? Which I don't mind to call this the double top over here. Okay, and then it came back down and does a correction on the upside, right? Before it actually crashed down. So it would be the correction to the upside before it actually crashed down. So that's what it is now. It's interesting that if I were to do this, this small fractal is almost, it's yeah. If you see, right, this is like the mountaintop, right? I mean, that's how you can one way to look at it. So yeah, it doesn't really tell us how it is projecting because OMG hasn't done on the larger structure on how it's pushing up. So this comparison doesn't quite help, unfortunately.
The prediction sheet has $20.
Yeah, predictions. It has easily $20 and above. I would suspect that's going to go up even more now. A good way, I think here's an idea I had. Yeah, so just relying on my experience on XRP previous cycle against OMG. So sometimes you guys would hear me saying that OMG is doing XRP. So just to give you guys a sense around what I mean. Let's see if I can frame this up nicely. Yeah. So OMG on the left. Sorry, OMG is not on the left. This is OMG. Okay. Yeah. So once it pushes up, this OMG will be really powerful once it pushes up. Where OMG now is, here's the slingshot. Yeah, you can't really see, but let me go into March 23. Let's go down to one hour, March. Right, so if you go down to March 23, you should be able to see something similar over here. Okay, let me try to get rid of that one. Yeah. So where this is going is here would be, it's probably too granular. I gotta go up into, let's say 4 hours, 4 hourly. Yeah. So let's try to zoom in over here. Yeah. So this one over here, this slingshot position. Yeah, that's right here, right? XRP 2017. That's right here. So the next push up, I think, will be really significant, and it's going to go all the way, to the top. Most likely, it's going to hit above $30. And what happened is it will correct itself, which is something I've drawn up there, right? So I don't know how far it's going to go. I'm not sure it's going to $50, but if you want to be safe, you know, you might exit around $30. Let's see. There's a high chance that it's going to drop back into this level. Okay, so let's see. So anywhere around $34, $34, it's a great exit. And you might want to consider buying back at around $22. So that would be my take. Watch out on that one, because that's how XRP did the last cycle. And you can only see it if you go down to, go down to a much. So this level here, right? So this level here is that level right there. So let me try to frame it up for you. It's that level right there, right? So that's why I do pick that level. I gotta, let me try to get out of XRP over here. Let's try to frame it up. Yeah. So yeah, it's something like this. Okay, that level here. Let me mark it in red. Right. So if I were to mark it in red, it's not a great color, isn't it? I'll mark it in white color. So that one over here is this one over there. So note that it should not, most likely it won't come back down below the $20 once it push up into breaking its all-time high. So I think it's going to follow what XRP did. So just watch out for those of you who are holding OMG. And remember, OMG is currently helping Ethereum to solve some of the capacity issues. And that, in the eyes of Ethereum Foundation, I think they place anything that is helping Ethereum to scale at the moment, they are putting priority. So OMG is one of those guys who is helping out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Sorry, we are getting through fairly slowly. We only have like 15 minutes to move on. I know there are a lot of coins that we have to cover, but let's see if we can cover any good coins here. Engine, I'll just say Engine is a tough one. We can't forecast Engine too well because the pattern is slightly different. Okay. Dennis, okay, on XRP. XRP is doing its slingshot. Since we are here, we can do that. Right, so here's XRP, expecting it to do its slingshot on the top side. Most likely touching 70 cents potentially, and then going back down to 50 cents. So that will be the first move. Most likely by end of October or early November. So that's what I'm looking for XRP. So once it finishes the slingshot going up and coming back down, then the moonshot one is heading back up to $3.30, right? So by Christmas, we are looking at $3.30 around there before it actually comes back down to about $2. Or let's check the price. Any questions specifically on XRP? Still loading, huh? Okay, well, let's check in with the chat. Okay, so there you go. It came back out. Let me see where's the resistance level for. Yeah, so here's the resistance level, right? So there's one here, which is at $2. Right, so that level is where most likely the price is going to come down to, right? So come down to that level. So it's going to hit somewhere around $3. That would be it. So that's about 30%. Yeah, that'll be a good exit point for XRP.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about K and C?
Let's look at KNC. Yeah. So KNC. Let's see. Yeah, KNC top. Right there. All-time high. Yeah. On one side, there is a part where I say, is this where the moonshot one is? So on one side, I am curious to use this as a moonshot one, just because the method that we use is lining up on Kyber. So on one sense, that's how it is. On the other analysis that I'm looking at, I know it's going to hit on the top there for sure. That's without doubt. So I think I still have it around $7. Is that right? Let's see. Yeah. So my original one was fairly aggressive. So it's one above. So that's a really aggressive option. This one is closer. I would take this assessment here on $7. Yeah. Now, having said that, again, watch out. There will be a serious correction from $7 back down into below $5. So using this as a slingshot would not be a bad idea. Okay, so from here to the top there. Oops. Okay, so from here to the top. So if we were to use that, which I think is appropriate, given the fact that it came back down, it pushed back up, came back down over here. So if we were to do the 3 push, that would be one. This would be the second one over here, which hit right on the top there, and so that will be the 3 push. Kyber, again, once it gets going, do watch out. I like Kyber to that eventually to come back to Kyber. Note that if you were to compare the pattern over here, right now Kyber has to work out all this. Okay, so all this, it has to be worked out over here from a fractal point of view. It has to be worked out over here. And once it comes up to the top, somewhere around $1.60, $1.50 to $1.60, then things will become very interesting. You would see it pushing up like mad, which is what it has done here, and that's something to watch out for. So initially I had held Kyber, but looking at the fractal, I move out into ZIL, and I'll probably rotate back into Kyber later on. So that's on Kyber. $7 is still a good target. Yeah. Hey, DHT, did I miss your question? Again, if I miss yours, please post it again. I think we have covered quite a few in the chat. Is that right? We've covered Zinfin. We have not covered Bitcoin Cash. Now, Bitcoin Cash is also a bit slow, just like Litecoin. Yeah, so can cover Haven. Okay, I'll look at Haven, and then we'll close off because it's almost two hours now. Yeah, this is a coin that we don't look at. Okay, reason why we don't look at Haven is because it does not go back into January 2018. So you don't have enough data. Yeah. So that's as easy as it is. Algo, I think we do have that. It does have data, isn't it? Algo, going back into Algo. Does it have enough data going back? No? No, too bad. It doesn't have enough. Yeah. Algo doesn't, yeah, again, doesn't have enough data. Did I miss it? Does it have data going back to 2018 on Algo? It's not on market cap. There isn't enough from Coin Paprika. So, yeah, again, it's hard to project Algo. We don't have data going back to 2018. So you can check on your own. If we don't have data going back to the full bear cycle, it's much harder to predict. But I'm sure Algo will do fairly well. XRP is not dead. XRP is just slow, just like Litecoin, just like some of the coins might be slow, but they'll come up eventually. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for participating. Let's see. Unfortunately, I may not have a chance to catch too much on. Let's see what else is these guys. PandiX. Pandi doesn't look great at this point. I've checked out the structure recently. ADA is great. ADA obviously will go up to $1. That's the target. That's a safe exit for ADA. RSR, I think also is looking good, but it doesn't have enough data for us to project forward. DOT is new, so one chain is not as interesting. REN is also relatively new, so that's what it is. AAVE, we spoke about that. LAN, we spoke about this. LAN is, yeah, all good. Ready to join. So for those of you who are ready to join, if you guys want to just come in and join for a month and just have a chat, that's cool. And there is 50 off. So for this week, if you guys want to just join and have a first month 50% off, what is it? It takes away, yeah, just pay $40, and yeah, it'll be great. I'm keen to, if you got new coins that you want to share and look at your portfolio, hey, come by and have a chat, and you can cancel anytime if you want. But we have a community of a lot of smart investors that share new coins, so we look at those as well, and that's all good. Okay. If you want to donate, there's a donation somewhere. If you just want to give me some coffee, there's a donation tab there. Hey, appreciate if you to pay me a cup of coffee. Otherwise, hey, thanks for participating, and we'll make this what you call the recording available if you want to just check back in.